Welcome back to the Queen of Spades, our one listener, or half a listener, I don't know, with me, Anne, and...
Jules, I'm the Queen of Hearts.
Oh, okay, you're changing it now.
I just change, I'm a non-binary TERF, so I go from the Queen
Oh,
of
God,
Spades.
anyway, so this week...
I just don't know what I believe anymore. Go on, Anne.
So last week we were kind of doing an overview of different issues that we feel that women are still facing or have faced in the past, and I'm conscious of the fact it was very long in 3 parts, but it was sort of giving a more of a superficial overview. But what we're going to be doing now is looking at some of those topics in more detail each week, and this week we're looking at TERFs and the question of whether they are heroes or villains. I personally think they're villains, but Jules, you think they're heroes.
Is a Smurf an angry TERF?
I don't know.
No, a Smurf is a Smurf. Sorry.
A Smurf is blue and generally annoying. I don't know. But anyway, joining us today is Sel. And Sel, you're a trans woman. And Sel's going to talk to us as well about some of the stuff that she's faced and what issues are for her on a day-to-day basis. And we've already actually started discussing some of this, haven't we, in terms of the overlap between trans and women's rights. So I think what would actually be a good start, Sel, is if you could tell us when you transitioned, what it was like for you, how things have changed.
So I transitioned, oh God, about 23, 24 years ago. Wasn't easy, took a long time. Obviously I was growing up with no internet, no access to resources to know what was going on. So it took me an awfully long time to figure out. Always felt different. Anyway, goodbye.
So can I just ask, did you feel this from when you were a child? Or did it sort of hit in adolescence?
No, from 3, 4 years old. Yeah, always had something, and it became much harder in adolescence and puberty. It became a real struggle. There's no resources, as I say, no internet, so you muddled through. Went down a predominantly very masculine approach to life, trying to prove to myself and probably everybody around me that I was overtly masculine, so biker, tattoos, you name it.
That's a common thing.
Very common thing,
isn't it? Like they tend to be drawn to male-oriented jobs like police.
It's something to do with trying to prove to the world and yourself that there's nothing wrong with you. You're as normal as the next guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Transitioned. When I did transition, I got sacked from the job I was in.
Yeah.
Because of that, I took my ex-employer to tribunal.
Yeah.
Won the case hands down because it was discrimination. It was a no-brainer to go to tribunal. So I just sailed through that. What I found was that the people were very like, okay, it's fine, we get it, well, we don't get it, but if that's you, then that's you, and we all accept it. And then 6 months later you bump into someone that was allegedly accepting, and you can see on that they cannot wait to get away from you quick enough. That's fine, but each to their own, and I don't have anything against that. That's their choice. And then when I started work, I found that the discrimination set in more on gender, being portrayed as female in the workplace. Then I took what would have been a natural career progression as a man, like, oh, you go for this promotion, you go for that promotion. Suddenly, you can go for the promotion, but he's getting it, you're not. And point in case, my last company that I worked for, I got told by one of the senior managers that I was next in line for one of the shift manager's roles. And the guy that got it played golf with the MD. So instantly that's like, boom. And then when I go into an HR meeting and they say, oh, how do you feel about it? How do you expect me to feel about it? I'm more qualified, I'm better, I'd be better at the job, I know the people, I know how to do the job. He's never shown any interest in the role, I've shown interest in the role, trying to train for it, trying to get all the qualifications that I need for it and all the right training, and spending time doing it. He's been a supervisor, not a particularly good one, and then walks into the role because he plays golf with the MD. And then proves that he's not technically capable of it for quite some time because he's having help left, right and centre, and you ask me to go in and help after you've turned me down for the role.
Did you notice that with men, that when they don't know what they're doing, they can go for help, or help is offered to them? Whereas when you're a woman asking for help, it's, oh, why can't you do it? Why can't you do it? Oh, you're supposed to be as good as we are. You feel well, I certainly I've been made to feel at times that I don't dare ask for help because it's a sign of my failure.
Yeah.
It's a sign that I'm in this man's role and I shouldn't be doing it.
And so in my previous life, when I could just fairly well sail through most, and I wasn't trying to work hard and do a good job, but I pretty much sailed through promotion because I was good at what I did. I found that then I was having to work twice as hard as I previously had to prove that I had the skills and the ability to just get to that next level. So I was then having to do twice as much as I previously had to, just to prove that I had the same skill set that I've always had, but having to work doubly hard to prove it to somebody, whereas previously I would have just walked in and they'd gone, yeah, well, you know how to do that, that's fine. Took that sort of patriarchy level, gave it up, almost stepped down into, now you've got to prove yourself in everything you do.
Do you feel that's because you're a woman, or do you feel it's because you're a trans woman?
I think to start with, because obviously I don't broadcast the fact I'm trans to everybody, because I think that'd be even more detrimental than portraying as female into a role. And I'm sure people know, I'm sure people guess, I'm sure people work it out. Almost nobody ever says anything to me. If they do, then so be it. So I don't know. I don't know whether it's the perception or whether they think actually it's a female thing or it's a trans female thing. I don't know.
Because it's something I hear women experience.
Yeah.
Certainly I do.
I noticed a huge difference in how I was treated at work the moment I transitioned and got a job as female. So from my perspective, I know from like going to work, previously as a man and now as a woman, or perceived as a woman in the workplace, don't want to offend the radical feminists.
No, you can offend radical feminists. They're there to be
offended. That what I find is that, yes, I've had to work doubly hard. I've had to do all of these extra things to try and prove that I have the ability to do what I do. But to be fair, I've probably been more successful being trans than I was male.
Yeah?
And I don't know whether that's the mindset because I'm happier in myself.
Yeah.
And I'm not holding myself back.
Yeah.
Or that actually I've worked doubly hard, therefore I've proved that. Whereas previously I was sort of probably cruising through life and that promotion will come.
Do you think though it would have happened to you and it would have happened quicker though?
Oh God, yeah.
Right.
Definitely. If I
mean, your life's better now, but do you think in terms of your career, had you not transitioned, where you are now would have happened faster? And you said that you were sacked, and you said earlier that you had to take them to a tribunal when you transitioned.
Yeah. I think I'd literally done my change of name deed and was applying for a new passport. So I was pretty committed to living full time and being 100% taken seriously, because that's not the sort of thing you're going to do on a whim. So to go to a tribunal where I'm then having to explain to a judge and to laymen why I was sacked, and okay, yeah, it's a legal proceeding. I'm not obliged to sit there and, but I have to read a statement.
Had you officially changed your gender?
Yeah, no, technically on my birth certificate, no, I haven't. But I have a change of name deed. I have my passport is in now. And
I'm just trying to establish when this was.
So
this was before or after the Gender Recognition Act? That was in 2004.
No, before the Gender Recognition.
Right. Okay. So did you have to go through and describe, or persuade rather, the court that you were a woman? Did you have to? You didn't have to go through.
To be fair, and I will give the tribunal and the judge. I mean, the judge was.
Yeah, it would have been a tribunal. Sorry. Yeah.
Mid-60s. The workers' layperson was probably mid-50s, and probably late 40s, early 50s on the employer's side. So I wasn't walking into a particularly what I thought was a progressive, forward-thinking tribunal. So to sit through that and then to have to sit in a witness box and read a statement on what happened and why I was seeking damages for discrimination on the basis of being trans was quite intimidating. Yeah.